Ciao ragazzi! Hello Fantastics! Welcome in another episode of Watercolor for Beginners. In this video, I'm going to show you what are the most common mistakes you can make as a beginner, like stains or much more. So if you're interested, just follow this tutorial. So let's do the first mistake, which is not actually a mistake per se, it's just experience. Because as a beginner, it is very difficult to measure the relationship between water and colors. So we tend to put too much water and few color, or too much color and less water, and that creates a huge problem because, for example, if we put too much water, this is what we obtain, and this is the result. It's a very transparent and light color, and it doesn't even look like the original one. So if you want to obtain this effect, it's great, put a lot of water, but if you don't, you need to learn how to balance the relationship between water and colors. Another thing a beginner tends to do is to put too much color and less water. So what you get is a very thick color, and when you put it on the paper, the result is this, which is not a good result for watercolors because it is too opaque and it looks more like gouache or tempera. So basically, you don't want to do that. So what do you need to do? You need to put enough water and enough color, and it sounds like a simple thing to do, but it's not, because it takes practice. You need to take some time to add more color or more water until you get the right consistency. It has to be a very vibrant color, but it has to have a liquidy consistency, like this. And as you can see, when it's dry, it looks like watercolor because it's pretty transparent, but it's not too pale like the first one. It looks exactly like the original one here in the palette. And it's not too pale, it's not too transparent, but it's not too thick as the second one we did before. So it's the perfect consistency. And this is what you're looking for. Another very common mistake for beginners are stains. And everyone hates stains, especially if they're not wanted. So here I am like blending two colors together with the right amount of water. So as you can see, they are blending perfectly together and the result is pretty nice. So here I'm showing you the wrong thing to do. So you put your first color, right? But then you wait too much and it begins to dry. So it's beginning to dry, and this is not good because when you go and put your second color, it's very liquid and very wet. So it interacts with the first color in a weird way and it creates the stains. So as you can see, the two colors are not blending together at all. And here they come, the very ugly stains. So yeah, this is the result. So very ugly, awful stains, which we want to avoid. Let me show you again this pretty awful thing that happens. So here it's a wet and wet. So you wet your paper before with some water, and then you put your first color, and then you wait for the color to dry a little, and then you put your second color, and here we go. We create some stains, very ugly and unwanted stains. And this happens also with the same color. It doesn't happen only with two different colors, so let's see that here. So you put your color and you wait too much and then it dries, and you put the same color but it's more liquidy now, and so here it comes the stain. Oh, pretty ugly, isn't it? Well, it's not that stains are ugly, actually they're a pretty interesting effect, but you want to know when to make them. Another very common mistake that beginners do is to pick up the wrong paper. So here I'm using a regular A4 paper, which is very thin and it's cellulose, so it's not a good paper for watercolors. So here I'm just sketching my little bird, my little red cardinal, which I adore. I love these birds. So I'm just painting it like I would do on a regular watercolor paper, so a cotton paper. But as you can see, on this kind of paper, it's a mess because it wrinkles and the color goes wherever you don't want it to go, and two or more colors, they don't blend together, and it's a total mess. I think it's a waste of time to use such a paper. I understand that for some of you, watercolor paper is expensive, especially the cotton, 100% cotton paper. But there are very, very beautiful watercolor papers which are 100% cellulose, and they are perfect for watercolors. And I leave you some links down below here in the info box so you can check and see that it's better to purchase those kind of papers instead of this, because this is just a waste of time. Another very common mistake a beginner can do is to take a piece of paper, even a good quality paper, and not to secure it to a board. And this is a very bad mistake, because your paper needs to be secure with some paper tape to a sort of any kind of a board. It could be wooden board, it could be any other material. But if you don't secure it, this is what will happen. So if you will put a lot of water and a lot of color, well, your paper will be pretty much ruined because it will bend permanently. And also if you dry it up like this, if you let it dry, well, this is what you get. So no good, right? And another very common thing that beginners do is to use too much eraser, so to erase too much and to press too much the pencil on the paper. So mark too much, make some, you know, like very deep marks on the paper, and especially with cotton paper. It's very bad because cotton paper is more delicate than the cellulose papers, so you don't want to do that. And another very common thing that beginners do is to mark very deeply all the pencil lines. So what will happen if your drawing has too much dark lines like these? Well, is that when you put your watercolors, since watercolor is very transparent, your drawing is going to look a lot under your colors, so you will see that a lot. And this is personal, but I personally don't like it too much. I like more subtle lines. So, well, I think it's more elegant because watercolor is elegant. So if you draw these dark lines, they are not elegant at all. Plus, if you want to erase the lines now, you cannot do that. You can even try, but the only thing you will erase is the color, but the pencil under will stay exactly there. Another thing that watercolor beginners tend to do is to paint a very large portion of the paper using a teeny tiny brush. And that's insane because it's going to look like this. It's going to look a mess, like a lot of lines and marks. So you need to use a proper brush. And I suggest you to use a size 12 brush, which is perfect for covering larger portions of your paper, and as you can see, the result is pretty good. So last but not least, the other common mistake is to use a soft pencil, a soft graphite. I'm using here a B4 or 4B, and this kind of graphite is too soft and it melts with water, so it will stain your color. And it will take this grayish color, like, you know, ugly grayish hue. So as you can see, graphite melts with water and it becomes gray. And you don't want your colors to be spoiled by this gray color, do you? So guys, this is it. This was my video about mistakes, common mistakes that beginners do. There are much more mistakes we can do, but we will see them in another video. So for now, if you like this, leave me some comments and some thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye, Fantastics! Ciao! Subscribe to my channel and share my videos with your friends. And click here for more videos.